Have you ever been so mad that you couldn't think straight? That's exactly how a young lady felt one hot summer afternoon. She was in her room, painting a beautiful picture of a sunset. Art was her escape, her way of expressing herself. Each brushstroke was like a little piece of her soul, and she was proud of her work. Then, without warning, her 7-year-old cousin burst into the room, laughing and holding a cup of juice. She tripped, and the bright red juice splattered all over her artwork. The young lady's heart dropped. Her hands clenched into fists, her face turned red, and she felt like screaming. All the frustration she had kept inside burst out like a volcano. "You," she yelled, standing up so quickly her chair fell over. "You ruined everything." Her cousin froze, eyes wide with fear, and then she ran out of the room crying. The young lady stood there, breathing heavily, her anger still bubbling inside her. Just as she was about to storm out and yell some more, she heard a calm voice behind her.
"Dear, come sit with me for a moment,"
said her grandma. She was sitting in the corner of the room, knitting, as if she had seen everything but hadn't said a word until now.
"I can't. Did you see what she did?"
The young lady snapped, her voice trembling with frustration.
"I saw,"
Grandma said quietly.
"and I also see you're upset. But do you think yelling at your younger cousin will change anything?"
The young lady didn't answer. She knew it wouldn't, but she was still mad. Grandma motioned to the chair beside her, and the young lady hesitated for a moment before sitting down, her arms crossed.
"Sometimes,"
Grandma began,
"we react so quickly that we forget to think about what really matters. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time,"
Grandma said, her voice steady and warm,
"there was a girl just like you. She lived in a village where everyone knew her for her fiery temper. If someone did something she didn't like, she'd explode with anger. It didn't matter if it was a small thing or a big thing, she reacted the same way every time. One day, an old wise woman came to the village and noticed how the girl's anger controlled her. The wise woman went up to her and said, 'Why do you let your emotions control you like a puppet on a string?' The girl was confused. She thought her anger made her strong. 'If I don't get mad,' the girl said, 'how will people know I'm serious? How will they respect me?' The wise woman smiled and handed the girl a jar of water. 'Watch this,' she said, and she shook the jar vigorously until bubbles and foam filled the top. 'This is what happens when you react in anger. Everything gets stirred up, and you can't see clearly.' Then she placed the jar on the ground and waited. Slowly, the bubbles settled, and the water became clear again. 'When you don't react,' the wise woman said, 'your mind stays calm, and you can see clearly to make better decisions.'"
The young lady listened, her anger slowly fading as Grandma's words sank in.
"But Grandma,"
she asked,
"how can I not react when I'm so mad? It's so hard to stay calm."
Grandma nodded, her eyes kind and understanding.
"It is hard, dear, but it's not impossible. The trick is to pause. When you feel that anger rising, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this really worth getting upset over? If it is, deal with it calmly. If it's not, let it go."
The young lady thought about it. Her painting was important to her, but was it worth hurting her young cousin's feelings? Was it worth the anger burning inside her?
"I guess the painting isn't worth all this,"
Lily admitted. Grandma smiled.
"That's right, dear. Sometimes we react without thinking, and it only makes things worse. But if we learn to control our emotions, we become stronger, not weaker."
The young lady and Grandma continued their walk around the garden. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the flowers, the young lady felt a sense of peace she hadn't felt before. It wasn't just the calm after the storm of her anger, it was something deeper. She realized that she had the power to control her emotions. When they returned to the house, the young lady saw her younger cousin sitting on the porch, still looking sad. Her heart softened, and this time, instead of reacting with anger, she walked over and sat down beside her cousin.
"I'm sorry I yelled, Dee,"
the younger lady said quietly.
I know you didn't mean to spill the juice.
The girl looked up, her eyes filled with relief.
I'm sorry, too. I didn't mean to ruin your drawing.
It's okay.
She smiled.
We can make another one together.
Grandma watched from the window, her heart swelling with pride. Her granddaughter had learned one of the greatest lessons of all, how to find strength in peace, not in anger. Over the next few weeks, the young lady practiced what Grandma had taught her. Each time she felt the spark of anger, she paused, took a breath, and asked herself if reacting would help the situation. More often than not, she realized it wouldn't. One afternoon, as she was working on a new art project, her cousin accidentally knocked over her paints again. This time, instead of yelling, she laughed.
Looks like we've got another masterpiece in the making,
she said, smiling at her cousin, who grinned back. The young lady's calmness didn't just change how she felt, it changed how others reacted to her. She noticed that people started coming to her for advice, admiring her newfound sense of control. And she realized that Grandma had been right all along. True strength comes from mastering your emotions, not letting them master you. Moral lessons. 1. Pause before reacting. Emotions can cloud our judgment. Taking a moment to breathe before reacting helps us think clearly and avoid saying or doing things we might regret. 2. Control is strength. True strength lies in controlling your emotions. When you master your reactions, you show maturity and wisdom that others will respect. 3. It's not worth the storm. Not everything that makes us angry deserves a reaction. Ask yourself, will this matter in a day, a week, or a year? If not, let it go. 4. Peace brings solutions. When you stay calm, you're better able to find solutions to problems. Anger only creates more chaos. 5. Teach through your actions. Others watch how you handle tough situations. By controlling your emotions, you set an example for others to follow, teaching them the power of patience and calmness. When life gets tough and emotions rise, remember, you have the power to choose peace over anger. Next time, take a breath, pause, and find your strength in staying calm. Want more uplifting stories like this one? Subscribe to our channel and let's grow together in wisdom and strength.